All right, yeah, now we've got some more people.
Mhm.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Debbie.
Mhm.
All right, yeah, now we've got some more people. Oops.
Mhm.
Get this posted to our group. All right, I think we've got about half of the people that registered on, so I want to give another minute or two for everybody to get on. Sorry if you hear the crying baby in the background. I'll
Mhm.
mute myself here for a second. All right. Well, it is 12:30, and we may have a few people joining us over the next couple minutes, but I think we can go ahead and introduce today's lesson. Today's day 20, so congratulations. We've almost made it to the end of this 21-day challenge. And today we're going to be talking kind of in alignment with the fitness theme of this week. We're going to be talking about different tools and how you should be using them, what their purposes are, when you probably shouldn't be using some, and just kind of help you guys have a clearer picture for, what the purpose and use for all these, various different tools that exist are, because I think it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming or even a little confusing. And we've got Caitlin McCarthy here for you guys today, which is a great treat. She's the best. She's been voted best trainer in Springfield numerous times, including in 2020. So we're super proud and honored to have her on our team. And I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of talking, because I think if I were in your shoes and I had the ability to hear from me or Caitlin, I'd certainly rather hear what Caitlin has to say on this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the slides, and I'll share my screen. But Caitlin, please feel free to chime in and take over whenever you'd like. All right. So can you see my screen?
Mhm. Yes.
All right. So today's lesson, we call it the tools you should always use. And I think that's kind of an interesting name. I don't know that there's any one tool you should always use, but these are the tools that you should use, and when you should always use them, and when you or if you're trying to achieve something, which tools you should use for that and which tools maybe you should stay away from. So we'll go ahead and just get started. I think there's a lot of different equipment to choose from, whether you're, looking online or you walk into the gym and you see all these different, machines and, weights and accessories and all these different things. So today, I think we want to help you kind of clear through that clutter and identify, what's the best fit in terms of, what you're trying to achieve, what's the best tool for you to use. Caitlin, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, just kind of trying to pick days where you're going to use specific tools like that. Like I noticed there's a stability ball and an ab roller, kettlebell. So perhaps when you do your cardiovascular equipment like rowing, biking, elliptical, treadmill, at the end of your cardiovascular workout, you could incorporate using a stability ball or an ab roller, or like kettlebell side obliques. That's kind of something I like to do within my own routines. Um, and then separate like, the dumbbells and other items. Like I see ankle weights on there for more like your strength training days, perhaps. Mm-hmm.
Great. So yeah, what equipment should be my primary focus? And I think that's going to be a personalized, the answer to that is going to be personalized. It's going to depend on, what you're attempting to achieve. But, what, Caitlin, what would you have, what would you say, should be your primary focus? I mean, if I'm saying, what equipment should be my primary focus, I would say, your body, like that should probably be your primary focus, and how it, how you can use your body, to achieve the exercises, and then kind of how each piece of equipment amplifies what your body's already doing. But what would you say?
Just over the years, being a trainer for about 10 years now, I would think that, like you said, just making sure that your body is in a good kinetic chain, like so from your head to your toe, whether you're using dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, doing yoga, like I see a yoga mat, or even using those bands, you really need to make sure that form and proper alignment with your body is the most important thing. Because you could really, we're going to kind of get into the strengths and weaknesses of equipment, but you could really injure yourself if you're not being aware of misalignment. Whereas like a trainer, hopefully someday we can get back to more the group settings, but that's where we can kind of help you guys out too sometimes with the one-on-one personal training or group classes. But really just with whatever equipment you do end up feeling comfortable with, just making sure that you're in proper alignment from your head to your toe.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so oops, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
How do I go back here? I'll let you handle this, because this is
Okay.
basically.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So dumbbells is kind of the first thing up there. I put great for working on single arm exercises to help with imbalances. Like a lot of you that have been on our InBody machine at the gym that measures, your muscle mass and body fat mass. Sometimes your right or left arm will measure differently as far as pounds or percentage of your um, whole body weight. And things like using dumbbells and doing like, single arm overhead presses can help. That's a strength, to being able to utilize the dumbbells. Now, a weakness would be that sometimes dumbbells don't go very high in weight. Luckily at Fit Club, ours go all the way up to 150 pounds, but you could be, somewhere on vacation and there may only be like lightweight. So that could be like a weakness as far as using the dumbbells. Now kettlebells, the weight is actually distributed at the bottom of the kettlebell, which obviously is pulling the gravity downward. That actually works on your energy and stamina a lot more, which I've found with my clients really helps elevate their heart rate, and they really get nice and sweaty during a workout like that. So I feel like kettlebells are definitely a good workout. Now, again, a weakness could be that if it could put you at risk for back or shoulder, knee, neck, or arm problems if you're not being conscious of that kinetic chain point, like I said, from your head to your toe. Let's see. I have barbells listed on there as well. See, now barbells allow you to increase weight by using all those little plates like that. Um, rather than having to, like, we have 2.5 to 5 pounds, whereas if you were, using the kettlebells, you may have to jump 5 or 10 pounds, whereas the barbells, you can jump up like 2.5 pounds. So that's kind of nice to utilize the barbells for your strength workouts. Now, a weakness, again, could be going heavy in improper form, can result in injury. So just be very cautious when you're using the barbells. Let's see. I also had the TRX suspension trainers that we have. These are excellent. You can get a full body workout. Any fitness level can use them. I work with clients from age 11 all the way up to 87. So, and I use the TRX system with almost all of my clients. Like, you can change the foot placement forward or back in order to make it harder. You wouldn't think that you'd become very sore after a workout like using the TRX, but again, proper form and alignment, you can really start to feel things like that. Let's see. A weakness would be not having the straps properly assembled. I actually, like I said, I usually try to, do a lot of safety with my clients, making sure that nothing's ever going to harm them. But one of the straps actually came undone once on a client. So when you're using the TRX straps, you want to make sure that the carabiners are locked in place, that your hands are equal on your straps, when you're pulling back and things of that nature. So again, being very careful while using that equipment. Bands and tubes, I believe that really makes you use your core because you're trying to stabilize more by using that resistance with the tubes. These are also easy to pack when you're traveling, back before Corona when we could do that. But basically, you can take them to a hotel and utilize them if the hotel doesn't have any gym equipment. With bands, you're not going to overextend your joints like you might perhaps like with a barbell press, like press into like hyperextending. Whereas with the bands, you can keep it in a lot closer, and that'll just keep you hopefully from prevent from injury. Let's see. Overuse of the bands, like I found at the gym, of course they're being used a lot more. They tend to break easier, so that would be my weakness as far as the resistant bands. Like your dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells are going to last a lot longer as far as that goes. So I think that's about all I have for that. Hopefully you learned something on that.
What's your opinion on the machines, like your selectorized?
Machines, okay, so when you're seated on a machine, you're going to work, say, that specific muscle. Like if it's a chest press, you're just isolating your chest, and then your assisted movers are going to come through at the end, like your triceps after you've extended. Whereas if I'm standing up, like, doing resistant bands, now I've got to engage my core. I'm going to follow through with chest and then triceps. So you can add multiple muscle groups by tending to get off the machines. And I'm not saying I don't ever use machines, because I do like to utilize specific ones. Sometimes I'll like to do my chest flies on there, but then I'll hop off and I'll get up on a bench and make sure that I do like an alternating dumbbell press. That way, like I said, you're working on those imbalances within your body too. So,
Okay, thank you.
mm-hmm.
So now that I have my equipment, what do I do with it?
Oh gosh.
Kind of a silly question, but yeah. I guess, yeah, they're just kind of going into the different types of movements that you can do, right? And I guess, that different equipments lend themselves more to different types of these exercises, right, Caitlin?
Yeah. Like the compound ones are going to be your like your deadlift, whether you're doing it with a dumbbell, kettlebell, or barbell. A squat, you can start with your body weight and then, like we said, use dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell. With our personal training clients, we take certain progressions. Like our very first time meeting, I'm going to have you do a squat, like we said, as a compound movement, but with just your body weight. And then the next time I might add a dumbbell. But I'm definitely not going to just throw you right on the barbell squats and put 45s on each side. So you should definitely take proper progressions within your working out.
So with the compound movements, these are kind of the benefits of them, right? They recruit your multiple muscle groups to help you gain more strength and mass, and they help you burn more calories, because they're recruiting more of your muscles and activating your whole kinetic chain, right, Caitlin?
Yes, I remember when Biggest Loser was on all the time. There was that popular trainer Jillian Michaels on there. She um, would have her clients wall sit on the wall, and then she'd have them dumbbell curl at the same time. That's basically, what your compound movements are, is that you're using more than one muscle at a time. So on the wall sit, you're working your quads, and then if you're doing that bicep curl, you're working your bicep area at the same time. So that's what they mean by kind of doing, or if you're squatting, it's working your quads and your glutes and your calves, or you could lunge forward and do a bicep curl, whereas you'd work again your butt, your quads, and your biceps. So kind of just trying to get more bang for your buck as far as that's what a compound movement means, is to work multiple muscle groups at a time.
Yep. And like you mentioned before, it helps keep your muscles balanced and, focus on those imbalances that you may have, improve coordination, and helps you engage your core better.
Mm-hmm.
And they help you learn how to coordinate your muscles as the movements are more translatable to the way you move in the real world, or more functional in
Mm-hmm.
general. Right. So we've got some other examples of compound movements. You want to talk about any
Um,
of these?
oh
Do
yeah,
you see
convertible.
them? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on your phone.
Yeah, I could add in a couple more, like
And over row.
let's see, like overhead press, bench press, like doing tricep dips off of a bench, push-ups. Again, proper progression, like start off the wall and then perhaps start off your knees, and then you could do off a bench or a box, and then, move up to doing real ones on the ground. Lunges, clean and press. Something that's becoming more popular, I feel like, is the barbell hip raises, or like glute raises, um, where you prop your back on a bench and then lay the barbell across your pelvic area and then like hip thrust up. A lot of people are really starting to incorporate those in their workout, as well as like an incline bench press. Changing that angle of your bench helps develop the different muscles in your pec major. There's a major and a minor, and when you change from doing at an incline or a decline or just straight out, that will work your chest muscles differently. So you can kind of mix that up within your workouts too. Don't just always do straight like bench press. You can change up the angle so it works your chest differently.
Awesome. All right. And then we go into the to-dos. Do you have anything else? I think you said you had some notes though, Caitlin. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to this concept before we wrap
Kind
up?
of just personally for myself, I really like using the dumbbells because, like I said, it can really help you with your your right or left side as far as your dominant goes. I'm right-handed. Um, So typically, when I'm pushing my dumbbells, I'm going to usually be able to do a lot more with that side. So it's very good to utilize that left side again, like I spoke about earlier. And again, just reiterate that the kettlebells are such a good workout because, I mean, even now with my clients having to wear the mask, like it truly elevates their heart rate a lot more, I feel like, than the dumbbells or barbells. Um, and then I noticed on the next slide, you were talking about getting 10,000 steps a day. The American Heart Association recommends at least that many. So the average person's stride when walking is 2.1 to 2.5 feet. And there are 2,000 steps in a mile. But like I said, American Heart Association recommends that you should get 10,000, which equals 5 miles. A lot of my clients have the Fitbits or the Apple Watches. I feel like it definitely keeps me on track myself. Like typically over the weekends, it's tough for me to get more steps because I'm not at the gym, running around like crazy. But I feel like it's a good tool. You can add, some of the friends from this challenge or other gym members and really try to make sure that you're accomplishing that goal just for yourself as well, that you're getting up and moving. Like my watch reminds me 250 steps an hour. So just really try to, or some phones even do it if you don't want to get a watch, like they'll remind you as well. But I think that was about all I had today as far as my notes go.
Okay, great. Thanks, Caitlin. Well, the good
You're
news is, guys, we have about 10 minutes left, and you've got Caitlin, who's an amazing trainer here. So if you have any questions about your workouts, like what you've been doing this week or what you are, you need to mix it up, or you have any technical questions, this is a great time. So I don't know. I think we should open it up and see, anybody have any questions for Caitlin?
Mhm. Oh, God. Anybody learn
Kathy?
anything, hopefully?
I think, did you raise your hand, Kathy? I think you're muted. Let's see if I can get you unmuted.
What do you think of those machines that are down the middle of the gym, right across from the reception desk?
From the where, I'm sorry?
Across from the reception desk, that long line of, straight line of.
Oh yeah, the push machines, the push pin ones. I believe that, again, like we said during the video here, that those will isolate your muscle groups. So it's a full body workout. You can usually complete that circuit in about 30 minutes. I think it's a great idea to maybe throw that in once a week, but then also to utilize other equipment like the dumbbells, the kettlebells. But that will definitely help you learn the muscle groups. Your quads, your hamstrings, your shoulders, back, chest, biceps, triceps. Like, it's going to help you become more familiar with what muscle groups, to where you're like, you don't want to just go through the motions. You want to truly understand what muscle group it's working so that you can build that muscle up.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
So Kathy, is that a pretty core part of what your routine is right now?
I was wondering. I use those quite often. I just don't know if that's the best use of my time.
Yeah, I mean, like you could do 3 sets of 12 of each machine. And like I said, all of them will take you about 30 minutes. And if you're doing them nice and slow at a good tempo, I think that's a great idea. Do them once or twice a week. And then, like I said, try to venture out and try the kettlebells and dumbbells and the TRX and the bands. The more variety that you get within your workout, your muscles are, in a sense, going to be confused as to what you're doing to them, but then they will soon adapt, and the exercises will become easier over time.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Caitlin. So you want to make sure, Kathy, like at minimum, if that's a thing that you're doing, and you do that frequently, that you want to make sure, kind of how we talked about in the earlier lessons, like consistency is really important, but mixing it up is important too. And getting that, additional overload, at least make sure you're raising your weights so you keep stress in that body and keep, being able to improve. And if you notice that you're hitting a plateau, you're not able to do more weight, that's probably the time to go talk to Caitlin and say, hey, I'm not really getting much more out of this, because eventually your body is going to adapt, because you're doing, the same movement patterns and, with the same muscles over and over. So
yeah, I usually do water aerobics a couple times a week.
Oh, that's a great, like I was mentioning, the cardiovascular Equipm, that's a great tool to utilize as well. I even take some of my clients in the pool and we do aquatic workouts as well. That's awesome that you do that. Yeah.
Great. Anybody else have a question for Caitlin? Rosalind? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah. I don't know how to ask this question exactly, but
okay.
So I just had the first InBody thing last month.
Yes.
So I have a benchmark, I guess. So how long would it take to add 1 pound of muscle or something like that?
That's a good question. I usually, when I have a client and I break down that InBody sheet, I set little goals. So it has a lot to do with your water intake. So take your body weight and divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking. And then it has a lot to do with diet, so nutrition. So make sure you're being conscientious of your protein, carb, and fat intake. And then, like, was it Kathy, I believe, was on there a minute ago, make sure that you're doing your strength training, incorporating the cardio, all of those different types of workouts. I tend to I can't give you an exact time frame, like how long it would take to get you that, but if I encourage you to do the right things, like the water intake and the nutrition, as well as the proper workouts, like the cardio, strength training, putting those ab core routines in, even working as we get older on balance and flexibility, stretching, yoga, Pilates, things like that. If you have a balanced workout across the board like that, and then try your best with your water intake and your eating, I can almost guarantee you that I would say in at least a month to 2 months that you should see a pound increase in muscle mass. If, like I said, you're doing all of the above, and that takes commitment. And, oh gosh, during the holidays right now, it's really hard, but so, just really trying your best. I think 1 to 2 months for sure that you could do 1 pound of the lean body mass. I don't know if the person that you met with spoke about the skeletal muscle mass, but that's like your major masses, like your biceps, chest, your quads and hamstrings, like we were talking. So as females, as we get older, things settle in, like osteoarthritis in our knees and our hips. So doing the strength training can definitely help that out as females. Like our areas are normally the hips and the knees, and then men, their shoulders and their knees. Some females, we have shoulder problems as well, but anything to help prevent those things from getting worse, like I said, the proper form with the strength training or doing your cardio endurance can help. So yeah, I think that's definitely achievable for you. You just want to have all your little ducks in a line, I guess, as far as the working out, nutrition, and water go. So
okay,
so
thanks.
Multifactorial, but the three building blocks there, are. And I would say the other one is recovery, right? Make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep and just giving your body a chance to rest too. But yeah, if you want to add muscle, you need to make sure you're working your whole body, because adding a pound of muscle, you're not going to add a pound of muscle just to your arms, right? You're gonna have to add it kind of.
Okay, I just had no idea. Like,
no, you're fine.
Take 2 years or what? I just know.
Right. Like we talked about with the single arm exercises or single leg exercises with the dumbbells or even your machines, that can help. Like if you're right side dominant, that can help with your left side, you know? So really thinking of that during your workouts, like what muscle group am I engaging, and, you know, try your best to feel it in that area. And I think you'll notice a difference.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Great answer, Caitlin. Great question, Roslyn. Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
Mhm.
You guys got it all figured out?
Oh, God.
Well, okay. Well, thanks everybody for making it on here. It's a little smaller group than normal, but you know, it's
Sorry.
also weekend. And if you guys, I know tomorrow we've got, I think Justin and Alexa maybe, or Justin and Meredith. They're going to be talking about, yeah, they're going to be talking about, you know, just kind of like what comes next, how to make sure that you guys are set up for success. And then we're going to do another kind of a wrap up sometime next week, I think Wednesday. Hopefully we'll have all the points figured out by then. Our developers are a little bit frustrating sometimes, but yeah, well, we really appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. We're proud of all of you, and thanks for making some time for us on your Saturday. And thanks, Caitlin, for.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome.